Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind. Let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Let's see what comes out of my face as I watch.
I don't like you when you're mad.
It just makes me question a lot about.
Then he says that, which at first I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's normal. But then is he saying, don't be mad at me because that makes me uncomfortable and I'll pull away from you? I don't know. I could see it going either way, right?
How he feels about me and the relationship we have. Maybe it goes back to my insecurities, but it's just not something that sits well with me at all.
Yeah, good. Now, does it mean that she should run from Cole? What it means is she should just be very careful and not commit. She should definitely not get married to him, because if she did, she runs the risk of him getting to a point where he can't tolerate it anymore, and then he leaves her.
It's like there's always going to be other girls and all that.
100%.
What's going to matter is that, like, you know that I've chosen you. I 100% choose you over.
Okay, so that's in line with what I've been saying, is that he's just radically honest, and he's saying, look, there's always going to be other women that I'm going to find to be attractive or beautiful, but that doesn't mean that I want to be with them. I'm choosing you. I want to be with you. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like that, right? Some people are not. Some people are like, no, not only am I choosing my partner, but they are the one person on this planet that I am the most attracted to, and everyone else just becomes background noise to that. You know, that sort of thing. But that's not everyone. There's plenty of people that are just like, yeah, I mean, when I am in public and I see a beautiful person, I'm like, oh, that person's really beautiful, perhaps even more beautiful than my partner. But that doesn't matter. I'm with my partner. I want to be with them because of our connection. So when he says that, then I'm confused. Cole is putting me on a roller coaster here.
For everyone else, I'm ready to put a ring on your finger.
Right.
Like,
it's
that's
not
all
necessarily over the everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you have any desire to build with anyone else?
No, but I think Colleen's attractive.
Then he does that sort of thing. It's like he's saying, no, I don't want to be with anyone else. 100%, I choose you. I want to marry you. I want to say yes at the altar. And then she says, is there anyone else? And then he says, no, but Colleen is attractive. Well, why would you insert that if that sounds shady, right? It sounds like he's saying, I don't want to admit to you or myself that I'm considering Colleen, but I'm just going to bring this in. You know, it's sort of like if you were to ask someone, did you steal money from the cashier register thing, from the cash register? And the person's like, no, I've never stolen money from the cash register, but side note, I did just buy a new phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, why are you bringing that up if it's not connected?
So is everyone here. So is Brennan. So is SK. Everyone is good looking here. Everyone knows Colleen's hot. Shocker. Do I have feelings for her? No. Would I ever marry her? No. Would I marry you? Yes. She's a great looking girl.
That's just like... So there's one thing to be radically honest and to be real. It's another thing to continually bring it up. Why? Okay, everyone gets it. You think she's a 10. Who cares? What's the diff? If it's true that you want to be with Zay and you don't want to be with Colleen, and you're totally sure that, why do you keep bringing it up? So, I don't know if I'm so much on a roller coaster anymore.
I can't change that. But I don't have any feelings for her.
So, what is going on then? Is he playing a game? Is he lacking empathy and emotional awareness? Is he, subconsciously that's emerging for him because he can't really accept reality? And so it'll sneak out in various ways. Is he a no with Zay, but he can't say it for whatever reason, so he has to communicate it through this way? Is he wanting to hurt Zay back? So sometimes it's useful to look at, if you're trying to analyze behavior, you look at the effect of the behavior, even if the individual doing the behavior isn't consciously aware of what goal they are trying to achieve. So the effect of what he's doing is it's hurtful to Zay, right? But the way he delivers it, it's not coming across as if he's intending on hurting Zay. So it's possible either he wants to hurt Zay, but doesn't want to seem like he's hurtful, or he subconsciously wants to hurt Zay, wants to make her feel small, little, unattractive, not worthy. I mean, that would be my guess as to what she is feeling. And there's a lot of different possibilities as to why that would emerge in him, consciously or unconsciously. If it was unconscious, it could be that that's how he feels on the inside, and he wants to project that into other people because he doesn't want to believe that he's unacceptable or unlovable or unattractive or something. So, that kind of sounds possible. Of course, there's no way to know. When I assess personality, it takes me months along these lines. But there are people who have deep down very, very little self-esteem, and they have a lot of reasons to think that they're worthless, unattractive, unworthy, unlikable because of the way they were treated. And the way that there's various different ways of coping with that. One of the ways is to overcompensate by coming across like you have it all, like you're the most beautiful person and everyone else is ugly or unattractive or unworthy or dumb or rejectable or something. And if you keep that up constantly, then you can temporarily convince yourself that you are attractive and that you are lovable, because in relation to the people that you're putting down, you are more lovable and you are more acceptable, I guess, in a sense. But the problem is, with that defense, you have to constantly be putting other people down and elevating yourself. So that certainly fits-ish, but of course I don't know enough to, solidly conceptualize the situation as that. But, I'll just throw that out there.
We don't mix at all conversationally. I don't know what to talk to her about. It's like, it's just not there.
Got it.
At all.
Thanks for the honesty. I appreciate it. Not great to hear.
Right. So we heard her in an interview saying she loves him for his honesty. And in this moment, she's communicating that to him of, thanks for the honesty. Hard to hear, but I appreciate it. Which, yeah, I could see. I would feel the same way myself. I'd just be like, hey, I'd rather know than have you have that and not tell me about it. But also, there are, like with him, for example, let's say that all this is true, that he considers Colleen to be attractive, more attractive than Zay. Well, do you have to mention it every time? Like, whenever Colleen walks by, do you have to turn to Zay and be like, by the way, when she walked by, I was like, whoa, she's attractive, more attractive than you. Just want to be clear and honest. So being honest is great, but do you have to be constantly honest? What amount of honesty is helpful to the other person and not hurtful to the other person? I would argue that for him, he is going in the direction of, great, you've established that you think she's more attractive than your fiance. Okay. Do you need to continually repeat it over and over again?
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
if you think I'm confused about who I'm with, then that's not the case.
Okay.
I'm not confused at all about who I'm with.
Now that's a lie. Earlier this day, he was in the one-on-one interview saying that Zay, he's in love with because of the emotional side, and with Colleen, he's in love with. He didn't say he was attracted. He says he's in love with Colleen because of the way she looks, which is a very off-putting way of putting it and thinking. And he says, oh, where's the perfect woman? I don't know what to do. I think saying, I don't want to be with Colleen and I do not want to be with Zay. And now he's saying, if you think I'm confused, I'm not confused. Now, maybe his mind has changed since lunchtime, but I don't think it has.
I will be patient as long as there's something to be patient for. Just hope that you respect me enough to tell me when there's not anymore. And if it's something that is not gonna work, then we make that decision that that's not what we're gonna do anymore.
So she said earlier that she might have some self-esteem issues, or she said she has some self-esteem issues potentially, and I don't know exactly what that means. And as a sign of that, in this whole conversation, it's all about whether or not he wants to be with her. The topic isn't even in the air regarding if she wants to be with him, which is notable because I think most people in her shoes who had enough self-esteem would have serious questions as to whether or not they want to be with Cole. You know, because let's say in the end, Cole is like, yes, on the altar, right? And is it an altar? Because that implies a religious ceremony. What do we call it if it's the dais? I don't know, the wedding spot. But you would hope that she would have a question mark because it's like, okay, he's confused. He's been saying all these things and he is choosing me. But given the way he's been treating me, do I want to be with him? Do I want to be with someone that is thinking that I am not attractive and is not really attracted to me, would rather be with someone else physically? Do I want to be with someone? I don't know if that question is going on because I don't know if she feels like she has the right to ask that question.
Like, I'd just love for you to be like more on just like one person.
What do you mean to say? No, I don't have eyeballs. No, I don't see anyone else with a nice body and a cute face.
That's okay. If that's the
nobody.
honesty that we'll go with, we'll just keep it moving in our relationship.
I can do that. Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to say, oh no, you're the only girl I see?
No, I don't, because
All right, so they're explicitly talking about the honesty part of it, the white lies part of it. He's asking, do you want me to lie to you about this? It's a rhetorical question because I don't think he wants to do that. And she says, no, I don't want you to give me a white lie. But at the same time, there's an amount of volume of honesty that is in question. Do you have to constantly bring up Colleen?
now forever, I will always think that's bullshit.
Good.
Anytime that comes out of your
That's
mouth.
bullshit for any guy, unless they're married to Kim Kardashian.
No. No. One, why would that be gendered? As if women don't, in heterosexual relationships, don't have preferences of looks. I mean, that's ridiculous. Also, plenty of men are 100% physically, emotionally attracted to their partner who other people might not consider to be a 10. I think that's obvious. I don't think that's a strange idea. So this notion that like, well, you know, all dudes constantly wanting to, I don't know why I'm making this mocking voice, but it fits. It fits. You know, all dudes, it's like, hey, when they see a beautiful woman, they're just going to want to be like, what? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you are absolutely attracted to your partner and you want to be with your partner, and when you see a beautiful person that maybe even you're like, whoa, that person's objectively even more beautiful than my partner, but I don't want to be with that person. Okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But the way he phrases it, it's almost like, well, let me talk about this, that this notion is passed down through the generations to us, to younger people, that men have the right to do this. Men are supposed to do it, in fact. To be a real man, and in fact, even the way he said it, it kind of sounds like that, right? It's like if you're virile like a real man and you have the libido of a real man, of course you want to do it with everyone. And there's a lot of evolutionary psychology crap that's in this just so story camp, but we're taught that, and I certainly was taught that. And there's all these notions, like, and I'll hear guys, sort of toxic masculine guys, when they're talking, if you don't agree with this notion, along with hundreds of other notions that are ridiculous, you will be judged as not a real man, or that you're lying to yourself. In fact, I feel like I've had this argument before, that I will say something like, well, for me, I just don't think that way. If I'm out and about and I guess an objectively or a conventionally beautiful woman were to walk by, that just does not cross my mind. And I don't know, it's fine if that crosses your mind, but it doesn't cross my mind. And I'm positive that I've had men within toxic masculine conversations and expectations, these men will say something like, "Oh, come on, what?" Or, "Well, you know, you're the weirdo and you're not the real." There's these ideas that men throw around as the way that things are supposed to be, right? And if you don't agree with it, then you are, well, the vibe I get is that the men feel like, by comparison, I am going to be seen as a better person than they are. And it's sort of like when you start a new job, say you're on an assembly line and you're working real fast, and you know the other people come up and they say, "Will you slow down because you're making us all look bad?" It's that kind of thing. Or they have so little security about their worth or their self-esteem as a person and as their gender, I guess, that if you raise the possibility that there are other ways to be that are possible, it raises this question as to who they are and what they are. And they don't like that. They want everything to be in a category. It's like men are this and women are that, and this is how I am. And I've been doing that my whole life. And so that justifies the fact that I'm a man, and there's no confusion, and it's that kind of thing as well. I don't know. But no, Cole, plenty of people, regardless of gender, do not think that way. Plenty of people do think that way. There's variance across people and humans, and it's fine.
Right.
We look like, so we're close.
It also excuses men being D-bags and cheating, or, I don't know, other kinds of activities that men will feel like they have the right to do. People who think like this will cheat, and they'll say, "Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm a man. I mean, she came at me, and I'm a man. I don't have any choice in the matter. That's just what's going to happen." People will say that. In fact, I would say a majority of people believe that to be true, that men have no self-control when it comes to women that are conventionally beautiful. And that makes no sense. Like, somehow you have no choice in the matter. You have no self-control. Or, to take it even further, men will assault women and say, "Well, look how she was dressed. What was I supposed to do?" So you take what he's saying and you expand it, and you get that crap and that criminal way of thinking, which is making me angry, and I need to stop. Ugh. All right, well, let's end it there, and tune in next time when I continue watching. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it. You really, really do.